Hello, I'm Jared Fry, General Manager of Medina TV, and welcoming in studio today our wonderful guests, Kimberly Marshall and Bethany Dentler. Thank you for both joining us.
Thank you.
And we have an exciting month here, with October being National Manufacturing Month, which brings about, again, our Made in Medina County. And I guess we can turn it over. Kimberly, of course, is our City Economic Development Director for the City of Medina, and Bethany is with the county, the Executive Director of the Medina County Economic Development Corporation. So welcome to both of you, and why don't we just get started here and just tell us a little bit, our second time doing this, the
Yes.
Made in Medina County Expo. So Bethany, why don't you lead us into what's going on?
Absolutely. As you said, it's our way of celebrating Manufacturing Month, which we actually try to do all year round. For the past 3 years, we've come together as a Made in Medina County collaboration, or movement, I think we can call it. And our event this year is taking place on Friday, October 20th at the Medina County Fairgrounds Community Center in the city of Medina. And basically, it's a manufacturing showcase. You know, you hear about companies going to trade shows. This is an opportunity to show off what they make in their own backyard. And we've got a lot of people in our community that are very interested in raising awareness about manufacturing because it has such a huge impact on our local economy, provides great jobs. And so we came together about 3 years ago and developed a mission to raise awareness and educate residents, students, and businesses as to the economic importance and career opportunities in our manufacturing industry. So we are really happy to be celebrating it again this year with such a great group.
And of course, it takes a great group to put on such a great show, a great expo, and that does require a lot of partnership and a lot of work. I don't know if you want to touch on that a little bit, Kimberly.
Absolutely. We are partnering countywide. We have all 3 chambers involved, all 3 cities involved. Leadership Medina County is involved, our schools, the career centers, Medina Career Center, as well as 4 Cities Compact out of Wadsworth. And we have over 50 businesses that will be vendors participating, as well as businesses that have served on the planning committee throughout this entire process. So it is truly a collaborative effort countywide, and we're very proud of that to pull that off as well.
Yeah, we're actually expecting 86 exhibitors, and that includes almost 60 manufacturers and a lot of other support businesses.
Mm-hmm. So we have a resource room where businesses are participating to talk about what services they offer too. So manufacturers will be on the outside, on the outer rim of the community center, and then the resource room will be in the middle.
And I think the unique thing too is that, you know, people from the community come in, also, you know, with the businesses, be able to see what the businesses do and how things are going, right. And also the tie-in with the students that come in. So you're actually hitting a lot of areas there in terms of our population.
Exactly. We're working with all of our school districts, and they're sending busloads of students. So we expect to have about 250 students there as part of the group. So throughout the day, we expect probably nearly 1,000 people to come through. We'll be starting on the morning of, as I said, Friday, October 20th at 8 o'clock a.m. with a keynote presentation by the Disney Institute. So we all know that Disney has an amazing brand, and they're a very successful company. And so we think they have a lot to share with our community about, you know, how to grow your brand. Their particular focus in this presentation will be on leadership excellence, which I think we can all learn from. And you can register if you're interested in attending the breakfast and the keynote. That's a $40 ticket. I would say only $40 because it's a lot cheaper than a flight to Orlando. And we would ask folks go to www.madeinmedinacounty.com. Very simple. So that's the kickoff event. But beginning at 11 o'clock, going through 2 p.m., the expo doors are open to the general public free of charge. And so we're encouraging people, residents, if you've got kids in school and you know, you've got some time on your hands, if you're working in a business but you've got a lunch hour, we're encouraging people to come on out and see the exhibition, see what's made in Medina County.
Yeah, and it's great because there's always it's just great to see the different things that are being made and how they make them. Not to mention some of the companies actually bring some samples, which makes it nice as you go through as well.
Sandridge Foods brought food last year. That was last time we did this, it was very popular.
Soups and salads.
Yeah, so that's always a good one. But actually, going back to the keynote speaker, that's something that you guys, the last time you guys did this, wonderful keynote speaker, and definitely you guys do a great job of bringing those keynote speakers in. I guess kind of what goes into that process of figuring out how you're going to get that keynote speaker and how it will address the crowd you're going to have.
Sure. Well, we have a committee, as Kimberly said,
committee.
a whole group of folks putting this together. So we started a year ago in sitting down to think about who we could bring that would bring a lot of value to Medina County, that would get people out to the expo. And we tossed around a lot of ideas. And really, once we found out that Disney Institute was available, we knew that it was really going to make a lot of sense. So we're actually celebrating with a 2-day event. We're here today to talk about the expo on the 20th, but Disney is actually coming in the day before to present a day-long seminar. So we've been advertising that all year, and so on the 19th they'll have some facilitators doing Disney's approach to business excellence all day long. That's sold out, but we're hoping that we can we're able to keep the Disney folks, and they'll be coming the next day to the expo. So if you can't get into the sold-out event, then there's still plenty of tickets left for the keynote at the expo on the 20th.
And once again, why don't you give the email address if people want to get tickets for that?
www.madeinmedinacounty.com. Make sure to click on the expo ticket link.
And that was the $40 for that, but like you said, well worth the price to come in and see a great speaker and something you don't have to fly all the way to Disney.
Absolutely.
And you get breakfast.
See, and a meal thrown in. What more could you ask for?
Sure.
Now, this is the second time now that you guys are doing this expo, and the first one I thought was a great success. I know we talked about that last year as I interviewed you guys on the floor as we had all the exhibits around us. What did you guys take from that one, and what are you looking forward to the second time around?
Well, I think growing it and continuing to build that momentum and getting our students engaged and educated in what manufacturing is, what are the job opportunities. Sometimes we feel that we see that it's a perception that the students and the parents think, oh, manufacturing is very dirty and it's stinky and all these different things, when in actuality a lot of it is very high tech, and there's a lot of jobs that the students can do that it's hands-ons with computers and learning about what all they can do, and it's not necessarily the manufacturing of what maybe the grandparents were involved in.
Sure.
So it's really important to continue that educational component about what the manufacturing is, and I think a lot of people don't realize what's being made in our own backyard. So it's about building that awareness of what is being made here, what are the job opportunities, and the importance of manufacturing in our economy. So we want to continue to build on that. And I think we have done that this year because we have close to 60 manufacturing exhibitors. The first year we had 45. About 700 people attended, and we're hoping to get to at least 1,000 this year. So we're building on that momentum.
Right, and it's Kimberly and I are both economic developers, so it's our job to help attract businesses to our communities. And as we go out and meet with companies and try to make sure they have the resources they need to grow, they've told us over and over again, workforce is a problem. We don't have enough young people coming into the industry. And so by exposing a wide variety of folks to manufacturing, we're looking on this as a way to help build the pipeline of workforce. And this program, this concept has really been recognized statewide. Was it last year, Kimberly and I had the chance to go to a statewide economic development conference, and we presented on what we had been doing and how this kind of program can be used as a workforce development tool. And we know that it's been successful because after the expo in 2015, we surveyed manufacturers, and we heard that they hired dozens of people who came up to them and met them at the expo and applied for jobs with companies that they became interested in, and this included students as well. There were wonderful students who came with resumes in hand, saying, "Hey, I've done the research on you, and I'm interested in your company." I know one student I think was hired on the spot and started his job the next week. Kathy Breitenbutcher in our office, she came to work for me last year, but she attended the expo in 2015, as a citizen, as a parent, and she said, "Can you imagine if you're a parent parent who sends your child off on a field trip and they come home with a job.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And so it'll be exciting to see what happens this year.
Which I think was part of the uniqueness. We didn't really coin it as a job fair. It just sort of organically happened. And so that is one of the things that this year we are working with the companies, and we're letting them know that, hey, it's not really intended to be a job fair, but if you have job openings, be prepared to talk about those job openings. And so some people may come and use this as a job searching, a place to look for jobs. So
right, and we've specifically told the companies in preparation as they're getting ready for the expo, you're going to have students coming to your booth, and they're going to have a passport in their hand, and in order to get the stamp to prove that they're not just wasting time out there, they've got to engage in a conversation. And so the companies are coming to the event prepared to talk to students about career paths, career opportunities in their companies, what kind of jobs there are available, what kind of skills that the students would need when they graduate, how much money are they going to be able to make, how quickly can they advance through the company. And I think students are going to be surprised to learn what a different kind of industry that it is than maybe their perceptions have been, and how maybe their parents are saying, hey, you've got to go to college. Not everybody's set out for college. Not everybody's meant to do that. But if they go to work for a manufacturing company, a lot of times those companies will pay for additional education, whether it's a certificate or even a degree. And so that really helps solve the debt problem that we see so many students getting into.
Sure. And I think that's the great thing, is the tie-in with the students, because a lot of times these students are still so early in their schooling, and they don't really have an idea of what they want to do with their career. And
Exactly.
like you said, Kimberly, sometimes it may be a misconception of what some of these businesses are like. So to be able to go and walk through there and see some of the exhibits and talk with the businesses, it might open some doors for them, or say, hey, that's I really have a passion for that. That's what I want to do. Did you guys get any of that feedback the first time around with that?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
we did. Because we did pre-survey and post-survey with the students.
There were some exhibits that were quite popular, including Strictly 7 guitars.
Oh yeah, they're the ones that had
Everybody
the guitars
loves
that
rock
lit
and
up.
roll,
Yeah,
right?
that was very nice. Yes.
But I think they learned that manufacturing isn't it's not dirty. It's very technical. It's computerized, and so we had robotics demonstrations last year with the robotic arms that so many manufacturers are using, and those are computer programming skills. So students who are interested in computers may realize there's another application out there for that interest, because not everybody's going to be able to write video games for the rest of their life.
And I think the businesses were very good about spending the times with the students, and I think that's a great idea with the passport, to make sure the kids get through, and maybe sometimes those kids might be a little shy and not want to get out there and speak, but it kind of helps them get interested. And you can see the interest in the kids as we were going around the taping too, so I'm really excited to see at the event this year as those kids go around and how inspired they were even by the motivational speaker coming out of that, and then walking with the excitement through the exhibits was really nice to see, and looking forward, like you said, to even more exhibitors this year.
We were pretty proud of our students and our teachers. We felt like they did a good job preparing the students for the expo. A lot of them showed up with resumes and were asking very good questions, and so that was very impressive.
They'd done their homework.
Yes.
So again, we're looking at Friday, October 20th. You can go ahead and run through the times there and tickets and everything like that again. We'll give our plug again.
Exactly. So tickets are $40 if you're interested in attending for the breakfast and great networking and the keynote presentation by the Disney Institute. Then at 11 o'clock a.m. through 2 o'clock p.m., the doors will be open to the general public. So anyone is invited to come in and check out all the booths. And we've got a lot of great demonstrations and exhibits that are going on. If you wanted to talk a little bit about some of those.
Yeah, so this year we have Magnet bringing in 3D printers, which will be operating live, and that was a big hit last year with the students. And so people can see firsthand about what 3D printing is and how that works. We're partnering with Stark State University. They will be bringing in a virtual welding unit for demonstration purposes. This is also an area of a high demand occupation. As Bethany and I meet with the businesses on a regular basis, we always hear that need for welders.
Yeah, so when we had a welding, it was a computer simulation, so you're not going to see sparks flying, but you can get in and try your hand at, can you weld this seam properly? And I think the score that I got was a B+. So if this economic development gig doesn't work out, then I can probably get something to fall back on. Exactly.
Yes, that's a great idea. The expo will also feature the Tri-C mobile training unit, which is like a huge tractor trailer with a classroom style setup in there, and they will teach a variety of things. And I think this year they are bringing a virtual CNC machine so visitors can see firsthand that sort of high technology machinery and equipment that's being used to help innovate the manufacturing companies.
We also have some of the students are going to be joining us to be exhibitors. So the Highland High School Robotics Club will be there and doing demonstrations with the robotics that they have built, and they built it for competition. So it would be nice if we had another school to attend to sort of do a little robotics throwdown here, maybe next time. But I think it'll be interesting to a lot of folks to see, what kind of education is being done in our high schools that have an application for future use like robotics. So we're really excited about doing that. So after Disney finishes their presentation, the Highland team will be up on the stage and doing demonstrations throughout the expo.
Oh, very cool.
We should also mention that members of the Leadership Medina County class will be using this day as their Business and Industry Day, and they will have the opportunity to visit the manufacturing exhibitors during the breakfast hour, and they are going to be judging all of the booths in 3 categories. And so they have award categories of the most creative booth, the most innovative technology, and the best hidden gem. And so those award winners will be announced after the keynote presentation.
And that is a matter of personal pride. The awards have already been ordered, so those will be announced and displayed throughout the morning.
A way to get bragging rights over some of the other people at the show. Now, actually, we can go back and talk about how are the students chosen from each school, or how do you go about that process of getting the students at the expo?
Each school district worked with their teachers and counselors to select the students, students that are particularly interested in career opportunities. So, it's not just sort of a class of random students, but they're very particular, with particular interest in manufacturing and career exploration. So we know that these are the students that probably are much more likely to fill the pipeline that manufacturers are looking for. So we think it'll be a great match for our companies to meet these students. The companies are, very eager to capture the imaginations of these young people early on. They know that once you graduate, there's a ton of choices out there, and we don't want our high school graduates who may not be going to college, don't just settle for a service occupation or retail. Explore the kinds of jobs that can give you wages that are truly sustaining for the long term, including benefits. There are a large number of companies out there that say, you don't even need experience in manufacturing, because I know that a lot of times that can be a holdup for people looking for work. They'll train you. All they want are people with good attitudes, can pass a drug test, and show up for work. They're looking for people with great character. They'll give them the skills. They'll train them in the skills. And so we think that the students that are coming will be a good match for the manufacturers who are looking for those kind of folks.
And what a great opportunity for both the students and the businesses. So it is a great thing. Now, in terms of community input, because you're encouraging everyone to come on their lunch breaks or pop in and see, what kind of feedback have you gotten in the past from the older community that has stopped in as opposed to the students? What feedback have you gotten for them, and what could they expect this year?
Well, I just would like to say that one of the best compliments that we have received was from Don Simmons at Simmons Brothers Construction. So if you can win him over, you've done well, because he said that this was the best event.
In 50 years, this was the best event he'd ever been to of this nature. And so he's got a lot of experience in Medina County, obviously.
he
He's been around
does.
a while. So for him to give us that kind of feedback, it meant that we were doing something right, that we had a movement going on.
Yeah.
And that makes it easy then as you prepare from year 1 to year 2. It builds that excitement and gets everyone involved. Like you said, you increased your vendors and the students, and you're hoping to have even more in attendance. And again, that's on October 20th. Give the dates again, times real quick. Again, the keynote speaker starts at...
The breakfast starts at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
The keynote will be on stage at 9:30. So make sure you're there in time to get some networking in.
Right.
And you can get those tickets for $40 at www.madeinmedinacounty.com. And then at 11 o'clock, the doors will be open to the general public free of charge.
At the fairgrounds.
Yes, at the Medina County Community Fairgrounds.
And a wonderful event there. And then really, I'm excited already to see the vendors and all the neat things that are out there. So even if you can't make the keynote speaker, it's definitely worth it to come over and check out the exhibitors and actually do see what happens in Medina. I'm sure you'll walk out of there going, oh, I didn't even know that was made here. So it's a wonderful thing. And then, like you said, great exhibitors coming, great things happening there.
Bigger and better.
Exactly. Build on it. Well, and that's hard. How do you keep building on something that's been such a success, or does it get easier because people then start coming to you, wanting to be involved in the process?
I think definitely the word is out. Like, we have a lot
yeah.
of companies that are coming this year that also attended and participated in 2015. And then I think the persistence of our steering committee of reaching out to the businesses and everybody, sort of all hands on deck. But I think that word is out there and people are hearing like, oh, this is a really great event and we need to be there. So
Yeah, that always makes it nice and easier to do that for you guys as far as planning goes, because you have everyone coming to you, and then with Disney on hand, I mean that's a natural draw itself. So really exciting. For
I
this
think the
year's
other
event.
thing too that we made it a little bit easier this time because there's always lessons learned along the way, and through the website we set it up so that the companies could register to be an exhibitor online. They could pay it online. If you're wanting to just buy the $40 ticket for the keynote speaker, you could pay for that online. So everything was online, and I think that was a much better approach, and it was more streamlined, and it was just easier than a company having to fill out a paper form and mail it in.
Sure.
I think that helped too.
Right. And the website also has lists of our sponsors. Obviously, this would not have been possible without our sponsors.
Yes, absolutely.
The amazing support from the business and education community has really made this happen. So Tri-C, Cuyahoga Community College, is our keynote speaker sponsor. MTD Products, amazing company, has stepped up to be the presenting sponsor for the entire event. And we have a number of other major sponsors, including Westfield Insurance, Oswald, Proximity Marketing. They've done amazing work with the website. And Plastipack will have bottles of water that have been made in Medina County that are being given out to the exhibitors at the event. So
The unique thing for that, yeah.
we're walking the walk.
Now, well, I guess in terms of that too, why put so much effort into the supporting of these businesses in the manufacturing? You want to touch on the importance and the tie-in with these businesses? And
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a numbers person. So when you look at the numbers of, which industries have the most impact on Medina County, manufacturing by far is the most significant industry. So the amount of wages that they pay employees in manufacturing in Medina County totals $450 million in our county alone. That is almost twice the amount of wages paid by the industry behind it, which I believe is healthcare. So we know that if you work for a manufacturing company, those dollars are being multiplied through the community many times because those manufacturers are buying goods and services from a variety of other companies. So manufacturing has a very significant impact on our community, and that's why we want to support it as much as we can to see it grow.
And even on that same end, you get the manufacturers here that brings the employees that live here, reside here, shop here, eat here.
It impacts construction and retail and consumer services and business services.
Yeah, so it's a great event that goes well beyond just the fairgrounds by the time everything's all said and done.
Absolutely.
Now, is there any other information here we're forgetting that you guys want to squeeze in here to help promote the expo that day?
This is where you have to be on October 20th. must come to the Made in Medina County event if you can fit it into your schedule.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, and then go to madeinmedinacounty.com and check out the information there. And like you said, mark it on your calendar now for October 20th, and a great event to come out to. Definitely recommend you guys come out and check that out. It's well worth the drive out to the fairgrounds. You'll be amazed at some of the things you see, as well as great conversations, great samples, a little bit of everything out there. So it's a great event, and thank both of you and everyone that it takes to put that on. It's a wonderful event. Really
Absolutely.
looking forward to this year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jared, for having us.
Thank you.